Good morning, I'm Lovecasting live from my Zen Meditation Center in Costa Mesa, California, and this is your Tuesday Namaste Today. Good morning and Namaste, and welcome to Namaste Today. My name is Christopher Oteki. I am a psychic astrologer and the Sensei to Serious Joy, here to stand in my heart each day and walk in the light. Thank you so much for joining me in my light walk. I'm Lovecasting live in my little Zen Meditation Center here in Costa Mesa, California, and I made this little Zen corner out of a corner in the yard of where I'm staying right now, and I kind of did that just so everyone can see how easy it is to make a little corner of Zen in your life. It's not that difficult, and you can do it in your house or outdoors. I happen to be in Los Angeles with no air conditioning, so mine was outside. It's also easier to shoot kind of at sunset. But the point is we're in Libra. That is step 6. That is I receive. That is peace. That is harmony. That is love. That is basically the idea of Zen. So out of the entire year, this is the only time human beings take real credible time to find their Zen. Now, you could argue that maybe in Pisces we do, but I would also argue that so much fears come up and stuff that's not very Zen. Libra, however, can be very Zen and very nice, and today, step 6 rules today. And so today's topic is step 6. Step 6 is I receive, and I receive is one of the 12 states of awareness of being humans. As it turns out, just like you have a state of thinking and you have a state of emotion and a state of psychic awareness, you have one state of your awareness that's constantly monitoring how much. Constantly monitoring. How much of this? How much of this is in this glass? How much time has he given me versus me giving them? We can't help it but monitor this. And it has to do with, I think, our desire to be in balance with the universe. I think it has to do with our desire to be like the absolute, which is one and in total harmony. But of course, Earth isn't. And the whole cool part about Earth is that you can manifest out of harmony. I don't think we can manifest out of harmony in heaven. So this experience of being in disharmony, then harmony, and the joy of bringing ourselves from disharmony to harmony is unique on Earth. And one of the many reasons we come down to hang out here. So the ability to understand one's balance is actually controlled by the ability for one to receive. And I mentioned this before. Today I receive rules the day, which means everyone is encouraged to receive. You could say Venus is ruling the day. You could say Libra is ruling the day. You could say harmony or love is even ruling the day. But really, what's ruling is the universe is massaging your spiritual shoulders to make it a little easier for you to open up. And that is the big question. What prevents you from opening up? And with this Mercury retrograde, as we're relooking at our own mirages and our relationships to ourselves, what prevents you from opening up to yourself? I'll give you one quick little example here. A lot of people really can do very well in the world, for instance, like Donald Trump. And when they get home, it's still not enough. It's still not enough for them. No matter what they've achieved, no matter what they've accomplished, who they're married to, how amazing their children are, how much people love or adore them, it's still not enough. And why is that? Well, when I drill down on their chart to start to get to know them, and I don't know if this is true with Donald Trump. I'm using him as an example just because he's put himself out there, so that's what you get when you run. Okay, you become an example for all sorts of things, including spiritual practice technique. But it is my knowledge from reading so many people over the years that in most cases, people cannot receive, and they cannot receive from themselves. They may actually be at a Donald Trump level where they can receive from the world. And I think Donald Trump does receive from the world. I think when he goes to bed at night, he has a grin on his face if he's made all of us kind of smirk, all right? And he does receive that, and it feels good. But if Donald Trump says to himself, "Good job, Donald," I don't know if that's enough. And that's because I don't think a person like him, from my experience, or in many of my clients' charts, forget if it's Donald or not, they don't always know how to take their own love for themselves. They never receive their own love for themselves. They never receive their own satisfaction. They never go, that's enough, I'm satisfied, I feel full, I feel received. And a lot of that is because they can't open up to receiving. Now, why can't you open up to receiving? Well, that's a myriad of things. In fact, the reason why a person can or can't open up to receiving is usually based on one of the 11 steps to serious joy. Usually one of the other steps is holding you up. The most common is I protect. A lot of people cannot receive because they are overprotected or they are underprotected. People who are underprotected with boundaries often will not receive as a poor man's way of protecting themselves. So they'll go to the feast, but they won't eat. And that's their way of not getting fat, right? Hey, it works for 2,000 years or so until you give up on so many amazing feasts. And we did come here to enjoy and to receive. So today, my friend, the universe is helping you to receive, and with Mercury retrograde, we're rethinking our relationship to ourselves. And one of the things to ask ourselves, especially if you're watched over in my personal Sensei service, I'll be posing the question to you is, hey, when you say good job, is it good enough? Can you take that to the heart? Can you receive to the heart? And also with AIT, I can determine where in your astrological matrix and where in your kind of soul signature that you are handicapped at receiving at large, or how you were handicapped at receiving when you were born. So those who are watched over by me, that will be your eye candy, although I wouldn't call it so much candy. Your eye candy at 3 p.m. your local time is why you can't taste candy, okay? Or what prevents you from tasting candy. And what you do, by the way, is when you find that out, like, oh, my beliefs keep me from whatever it is you find out from me at 3 p.m. today. What you do is you explore that when you get that message. You explore it and go, okay, Chris says my feelings protect me, keep me from receiving. So next time I go to receive, I'm going to check my feelings, see if they're open to receiving, see if I can take it all the way in. And that's how you apply the wisdom to your day. So, without further ado, let's take a look at the planets and talk to my guides about what's going on in a more intimate detail today for people and receiving in the sign of I receive. So today is step 6 in the sign of step 6. If you didn't get it, it's a purebred day. And the last thing I'll add is anyone born today, or anyone I should say born with step 6 or 6 degrees Libra, is a Grandmaster Libra by my definition. They are a master. They've learned balance and mastered it at the Act 1 level. All right, so let's listen in. So the first thing they take me to actually is the moon. I see, and this makes a lot of sense too. As we start, really for the first half of the day, we're really in a two-part day, I can tell. The first half of the day is emotionally very self-centered, and this is us still moving into the new mirage and the new mirage vows, and still kind of recuperating, let's say, from the lunar eclipse, a total lunar eclipse we experienced very quietly on Sunday night, but I think we'll still have repercussions through Friday of this week. So emotionally, there's a test of everyone's ability to stay strong. That's what they're kind of showing me. And to some degree, that test of staying strong is why you can receive. All right. And this is me helping you rewire your relationship to yourself. When you feel strong and you feel a test of strong, and you respond just fine to it, that's the reason you should open up. Because you are strong and you can handle things, and you just have handled things. Now, a lot of people will go through a certain ordeal of strength and then shut down as a preservative. And it's like, no, if you don't see a threat in the moment, there would be no reason to shut down. So people are going to feel this big push, and then we move into Taurus the second half of the day. I'll most likely program a text at that shift. And at that point, we're kind of coasting. Now, the moon is trining into Venus in the late stages of Leo, and I think that's what they were showing me, is that, well, where we receive from the first half of the day is from ourself, not the outer world. Okay, very, very clear. So don't expect to receive from the outer world. Expect to receive from yourself. In fact, this is a mirage transit after all. It's about you. Now, I do promise you as Sensei that it's my experience that when you learn to feed yourself differently, treat yourself differently, the world automatically starts to copy this behavior over time. All right, so you get what you end up wanting. And what's really weird is I always tell this to my clients, once everybody else is trying to do it better for you than you were just finally doing it for the first time in your whole life, you actually don't want their help. You're like, no, I got this. So once you start getting the help, you always whine for it. You don't want it because you find you're better at doing whatever it is than they are, okay? But it does law of attract in a greater kind of treatment. The way you treat yourself is the way the world will treat you. So today, it's a test the first half of the day, really, in how you can receive from yourself. Is it enough to receive from yourself? Do you need the Donald Trump's applause, right, the Trump marks, or can you feel good on your own, standing right there alone? I'm a rock, I'm an island is what I'm thinking of Simon and Garfunkel. So through the day, we're still building with this Venus at step 23, but today step 6 rules a day. And the cool thing about the next 24 hours is that the Sun and Mercury are going to kiss and cross places. So Mercury is retrograde heading backwards. The Sun is, of course, moving forward. It never moves backwards in time. If it did, maybe we would actually, the playhead would go backwards, just like that Superman movie, right? But the next 24 hours, it means our mind and our hearts, the Sun is our hearts, our mind is Mercury. The two come together, kind of do-si-do and pull apart. So usually what happens in this moment is that the person has an official change of mind about something. So people have a change of mind when Mercury and the Sun cross as one is going retrograde. This change of mind might be, maybe I will go back to my ex-wife, or, and so they're often temporary changes of mind, even though they seem very much like the solution you've been looking for the whole time. So I will put out that warning. And again, that's okay because the mind does need to go to both sides anyways. If you're going to move forward, you have to look at both sides, the side that you're not taking and the side that you are taking. And usually the mind needs to understand why, which, and how. All right. But you might also be trying a theory right now for a new solution that will stick. Don't assume the one little paradigm I gave you just now is the one that'll work. There might be a solution that does work that you discover now in this little dance, but you'll find you won't be able to actually go direct with that literally in your life until Mercury goes direct October 10th. So today, with this little do-si-doing of the mind, taking and switching places, and the heart and the emotions having to be there for oneself, I think you find yourself on the other half of the day kind of looking at a new view. And you guys know how I like to spell view. V-W-O-U, right? V-Y-O-U. Sorry, Mercury retrograde. So funny. So basically, it's kind of a lonely day. Not a lonely day in the sense of no one's going to talk to you or be there for you, but actually, as I'm looking through this with my third eye, it really is a very quiet, private day of receiving. Not so much receiving that lotto check or receiving that, that card in the mail or that final clue for Jeopardy, but probably receiving something very profound for the self. They're now bringing me to Jupiter, which is at step 10 Virgo. So step 10 is I manifest. So we're officially manifesting the base ground rules of the new reality. That's what Jupiter and Virgo is doing. So this is all going to stick, the way you're treating yourself. And so although it may not seem like you're getting headway or you're not going where you want to go or you're not seeing the results you want just yet, again, we're in a retrograde. We're not going to see positive results, but believe it or not, the inner changes of you and your mirage to yourself, this is what I'm saying, are sticking, will stick once things go direct. So try not to get in that final test of the moon in Aries, don't turn into such a baby that you don't keep moving forward. And that's basically it. Today, the last thing they just want to say is because Mercury's retrograde is moving backwards, we're actually being redecisive. That little switch of mind is redecisive of what we're not. Well, maybe we're not this. Maybe I'm not that. Maybe I'm not. So it's a not, just so you know, not an M. And that's true of step 8. Step 8 is a not step. It's not an M step, okay? So you may reconsider a not step, and that, of course, is all part of defining what you are when you're clear on what you're not. All right, my friends, I think that's an excellent way to end it. Try to discover that way of receiving from yourself, and if you didn't get it real clear, I think what the guides are saying is it's time to flip around your mind and you're thinking about what you are or what you're not, about what you love or what you don't love, and really be able to receive truly from yourself and feel proud from yourself. What will it take to receive love and feel proud from yourself? That is your soul mission for the day. I'll see you in 24 hours with more, my friends. Until then, remember, I do love you, and live, love, be.
So